Hey guys, John here. Just going to give you guys a quick update. I fixed the issue with the transmission mounts and the bug. That was kind of a little bit of a pain in the butt just because when the transmission basically fell out of it, it kind of fell into an awkward spot that made some of the bolts hard to get to. But once I got the new mounts in, it went together super simple. As you can see, it's all solid. It's shaking the whole car. So that was a good thing. The only issue is when I split the motor apart, the motor from the transmission, I did not know about the starter bushing. The starter bushing, the nose of the starter kind of goes into it and it keeps it from, wiggling around. It keeps the mesh set instead of letting it tighten or loosen as it turns. So when I put it back together, I was having really hard starting, really hard cranking. I looked at several things. I originally thought that it may have been an issue with the ignition coil, so I threw a new ignition coil in, and that didn't fix it. Thought it could be an issue with the alternator, or the generator rather. I pulled that apart and looked at it, pulled the belt off. There's no seizing there, so that's not the issue. And I did some research and found that it's probably that bushing that the nose of the starter goes into. I have not done that yet. I've tried to pull the old one out. That's kind of the hardest part of it. And I have not been able to get it out with the motor in the car. I would assume that if you had smaller hands, it would be easier, but man, my hands are huge. So what I'm going to have to do, unfortunately, is pull the motor out of the car again. It'll be a lot easier, and it's going to be the way I have to do it. It sucks, especially because the weather's starting to get bad again. It's kind of clearing up a little bit. It's not bad. It's been off and on raining. It's been like the mid-50s today, so it's not real cold, but it hasn't been the 70s and 80s that we've been getting. But yeah, I think the plan is to turn the car around, back it into the garage when I'm working on it, and have a nice dry spot to work on. Also, one thing I have to do, forgot to mention, it's kind of hard to see, but the ignition's all kind of screwed up. And that's because I lost the keys to it, and I realized I don't really need that ignition at all, because I have, you can kind of see the aftermarket one right there. All that was really doing was being the steering wheel lock, so I have to kind of cut that off, pull that off. I'm going to do an aftermarket turn signal setup. The windshield wiper is just going to be a toggle on off switch, so I'm getting rid of everything on the column itself. Gonna fix that in the rewire. I think my daughter threw the keys away. She's about 2 years old. She's about that age to be doing those kind of things, so no more keys for it other than the key to the aftermarket ignition, but that's okay. Once I get that taken care of, then I'll be able to turn the car around, because the steering wheel's locked, of course. Be able to turn the car around and get it in there and work on it again. I'd like to drive it. The big thing, I guess the big change is that I've realized that I'm really not going to do anything with it the way it is. I'm going to get it working. I'm going to get everything from the firewall back working, and then probably use this thing as a parts car for a standard Beetle, because this is a super Beetle, and I'm not in any rush to get rid of it, not in any rush to scrap it, but eventually I think that'll be its fate. So I'm going to enjoy it for what it is, but it probably will never be street legal. It will never be registered. It will just be something for ripping around down there in the gravel pit and having some fun with. But anywho, that's kind of the latest story on this thing. As I get more updates, as more interesting things happen, I'll let you guys know. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of interesting good stuff has happened, but it will. It definitely will. And I will keep you guys in the loop when it happens. So if you like the video, let me know. If you dislike the video, let me know. And as always, I hope you have yourself a great day.